So these are the three main reasons why your body is starting to store more belly fat as soon as you get over the age of 40. Okay, what starts to happen is your estrogen levels start to decline. And this is a normal part of the aging process as you come to the end of your childbearing years. And estrogen is something that's responsible for where your body stores fat. So during your childbearing years, estrogen will prioritize storing fat in your hips, in your glutes, etc. And a big part of that is protective measures for your child. You know, if you're pregnant, the fetus can get quicker access to energy, but if you're coming to the end of your childbearing years, your body's no longer going to prioritize that. So a lot of that fat gets redistributed to your midsection. This is an unfortunate truth, but this is what's happening to a lot of women, and they just don't understand what's going on. Now, another thing to be mindful of is that if you are in a calorie surplus, which a lot of women end up in a calorie surplus during menopause, all of those extra calories that you're consuming that get stored as body fat will get prioritized in your midsection, which is why all of the pounds that you end up gaining, it seems like it's going directly there. A big part of it comes down to estrogen's role in fat distribution. Okay, so that's reason number one. The second reason is your stress sensitivity is changing. That's also due to declines in estrogen. So estrogen acts as a natural buffer for cortisol. So if your estrogen levels are declining, what that means is that cortisol gets spiked a lot easier, gets spiked a lot faster, gets spiked a lot more frequently, which leads to your baseline levels of cortisol being a lot higher, right? Now, the problem with this is that cortisol is something that promotes visceral fat storage. It's an emergency mechanism of your body. And what it's meant to do is if you're storing visceral fat around your organs, it gives your organs quicker access to energy if you really are in like dire need of it. Our bodies are built for survival. The problem is you're not actually in a space where there's any real danger or anything along those lines. Your body is actually just becoming more sensitive to stress. And to understand this piece, you'll have to understand the HPA axis, right? And I'll cover this in a different video to break down why your body's becoming a bit more sensitive to stress. But this is what ends up happening, right? You start gaining a ton of visceral fat. The problem with visceral fat, one, is it's hard, so it's not as soft as subcutaneous fat. So that's where you get that protruding look in your stomach where it's sticking out a little bit further. That's the first piece. The second piece is that visceral fat is also very inflammatory. It's active and it releases a lot of inflammatory chemicals. I believe they're called cytokines. I think that's how you pronounce it. That can be extremely dangerous. And this puts a lot of women in positions as they get older where their health gets compromised if they're not aware of these things. What you need to be doing, and I spoke about this in another video, is doing things that are within your control to actually manage cortisol a little bit better, right? If you can manage your cortisol levels a little bit better throughout the day, and I'll link the video somewhere here to show you how you can do that, then you put yourself in a position where you can stop your body from storing visceral fat. Okay, and now the last piece in regards to why you are gaining belly fat, right, is that you're losing muscle mass. And this again comes down to declines in estrogen. Estrogen plays a key role in muscle protein synthesis, which impacts your body's ability to repair your muscles and also to build more muscle. So if you're naturally losing muscle mass, what ends up happening is your metabolism slows down. Muscle loss leads to declines in your metabolism because it takes a lot of energy to maintain muscle mass. So if your body's burning less calories because you're losing muscle mass, then what that means is it's a lot easier for you to overconsume calories. Okay, so when you put all of these three things together, where estrogen is redistributing fat and prioritizing your midsection, your stress sensitivity is changing, where your body is releasing cortisol a lot easier, a lot quicker, and your baseline levels are a bit higher, which is why the lifestyle component to fat loss is so important for women over 40, and you pair that with losing muscle mass. A lot of you are not doing strength training. That's the biggest problem, is that women in this generation, it's really not your fault. You're coming out of a space of doing boot camps, doing F45 and Orange Theory and P90X, all the insanity workouts. You're coming from that generation where you prioritize just sweating and burning calories over building strength and building muscle. So now you're ending up in your 40s, 50s, 60s. You've gone through this phase where you've been prioritizing the wrong things. You're losing muscle mass, and now you're feeling stuck. It's not over, but the quicker you can gain a better understanding of this, is the quicker you'll put yourself in a position where you can turn things around. So you need to be doing strength training if you want to improve your muscle mass. You need to be eating enough protein as well if you want to improve the amount of muscle mass that you have on you. Estrogen is not something that's really in your control without medical intervention. From a coaching perspective, it is better to focus on the things that are within your control, right? Which is managing your cortisol levels and also doing what you can to maintain, if not build, muscle mass. That'll put you in a spot where maintaining a calorie deficit is going to feel a lot easier and more attainable, so that you can actually start to drop and reduce belly fat, right? Even if you go and get on HRT, like, you're still gonna have to adhere to a calorie deficit. You're still gonna have to do strength training and prioritize protein to maintain or build muscle mass. You're still gonna have to learn how to better manage your stress and better manage your sleep, et cetera, et cetera. And these are all of the things that we focus on with our clients inside of our one-to-one coaching program. So ladies, if this is something that you're struggling with, I have consultations every single day. Women are telling me, you know, how uncomfortable this is every single day. They can't fit in their clothes, or certain dresses that they want to wear that they just can't wear no more because they don't look the way that they want to look. They just don't like the belly sticking out all the time. I hope that this video was insightful for you to understand why it's happening, to normalize it for you a little bit so that you're not, you know, you don't feel like you're going crazy, and also give you a pathway forward, right, where you can regain some of that control and take some action steps to start making progress. Now, if you have trouble implementing these things, then I'm gonna leave a link in the description for you to schedule a consultation to speak to me or someone from my team to see if there's a way that we can help you out on a deeper level, on a one-to-one level, to actually get you to where it is that you wanna go and seeing the results that you wanna see. That's all I got for you in this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you wanna see more content like this, and I will see you in the next one.